What? Ranka, you look like you're somewhere outside of this earth. Yes, good, good. Mom Carol, how are you? Mom Carol, I really enjoyed your soup.
Thank you.
Special soup I got on Sunday. Whoo, that was nice. And I ate on Monday.
You're welcome.
Didn't you see what we missed out on when you're in the wrong place at the right time at the right place?
Mhm.
Margaret's like, yeah, whatever. Margaret, we missed you. You missed out on Mama Carol's pepe soup.
Hey, soup. What's it got in it?
It's got everything you can think of. And all the meats like my favorite fish and chicken
Ooh,
and goat and
my goodness. A whole lot of different meats in it.
yes.
Oh,
Yes. Although it was not as spicy as the last time you made Mom Carol, but it was very nice for me. The last one was too spicy. I had to add cream to it.
Margaret, I think if I give it to you, you will like it because it's too
no,
hot.
too hot.
Too hot.
Yeah.
You'll have to make the lesser version.
Yeah.
Good to see everyone on. Who's excited to be here? If you are, let's pop a 777 in the chat group because we get some interaction going as well. I'm really happy. Oh, we got Jerry from Sri Lanka coming in. So we got our first, I think, from Sri Lanka in. Beautiful. And yeah, super excited about these guys. Thank you for being on. Really honor the timing you're taking. We keep it to about 45 minutes is what I want to keep this for. It's kind of like a pre-challenge kickoff for next week. Next week's going to be really powerful. So I want you to just put in the chat group, Lucy, I don't know why I put a 111, but I am 111 and so are you. So let's go. All right, sounds good. I like I like the change. Just in the chat group, guys, if you can just pop in, why are you here? And please don't say because Ruben told me to. Shami might like the 111 too. So I probably have to say that to myself. I had to be here, right? Imagine if I didn't turn up. So in the chat group, kind of a couple of words. Why are you here? And maybe we have one or two, since your microphones are unmuted, why are you here? So Simon, curiosity. Awesome. If anyone wants to unmute and quickly say as well, please feel free. Or type it in, whichever way you feel more comfortable. Aranka, me too, curiosity. You know what they say about curiosity and the cat, right? Good that you're not a cat. Light.
No, we're not superstitious here, sorry.
It's not superstition, it's just a saying, isn't it?
I'm stirring you. I'm stirring you.
Yes, well stirred. You should bring a bigger spoon next time. You don't know me yet, Aranka. I'm a big stirrer, so feel free to stir.
Good, good.
Cynthia always tries the best, but I think I win, right? No, Cynthia. While you're muted, I can say things. Enjoy learning. I love that, Cecilia. To change my old way of thinking about wealth creation. Wonderful. Thank you, Cynthia. Love to hear everything. Anything gives me positive energy. Amazing. Wealth creation to fund my kingdom assignments. Love that. Just to learn and learning. Wonderful. So thank you guys for each of you sharing a little bit about why you're here. And I think, and I know it's going to meet everyone's opportunity. I'm just going to mute everyone. I'm going to pop a slide on because we want to get some information out to you of to what's going to happen in the next 7 days from Monday. But at the same time, what's going to happen in the next few days till Monday. So can you guys all see that? If you can pop just a yes in the chat group, if you can see that. That way I know that you can see the screen. Beautiful. Alrighty. So it's been great, very exciting, guys, to have even, we've had about 22 new members come in. If this is your first time on Wealth Creation with me, just pop a 111 in so that we can just see who's in for the first time. We want to say hi to those who are. Some of you have been in last year when we're doing our Wealth Creation, and some of you run with me for a few years and seen the journey, like our Sandy. All right. Oh, wow. Welcome to all the newbies as well. I love this saying here that let's build purpose-driven wealth together. And why that's important is kind of reflecting what Neil was saying today about, rethinking about wealth and what does that look like, and stewardship. I think stewardship is a good word. If anyone likes the word stewardship, please, write that in the chat group. So have some, get your notepads ready as well. There's some teaching, a little bit of teaching that I'll give you as well. And if you think of something that I'm saying that sounds, yep, I really like that, throw that in. Remember that we're going to learn from one another as well. So I don't claim to know everything. I do know some things, but not everything. And each of us can learn from one another. And some of us can have ideas that spark us, that give us a really great opportunity forward as well. Love that stewardship, not ownership, 100%. So I want to start with this, and I want you to say to yourself, or if you're with someone next to you, say to that person, or if you have someone in the other room, you can shout it out to them, that I am highly favored, greatly blessed, and deeply loved. Right? So I want you to say that to yourself. Say it loud enough to scare yourself. Sometimes we don't hear our voice, and we need to hear our voices and get a little bit like, oh, this uncomfortable and comfortable. So I am highly favored, greatly blessed, and deeply loved. I want to say it 3 times to yourself. Or to the person next to you, if there is someone. I am highly favored, greatly blessed, and deeply loved. I'm highly favored, greatly blessed, and deeply loved. So I always like to operate from that point of view, because that's part of that stewardship. So stewardship is important in the sense that we're not servants, but that we have the highest level of authority that we've been given over everything, including finances. But stewarding things well is very important, right? And that goes to the right heart in what we do. So I do have to start with a disclaimer, guys. So I'll read it out here. Hey there, just a quick note before we get started. This coaching program is designed to guide, inspire, and support you, but it's not a magic wand as much as we wish it were. All the advice and information here are for educational purposes and aren't meant to replace the expertise of doctors, therapists, lawyers, or any other professionals with fancy degrees. While we promise to cheer you on and share our best tips, we can't guarantee that you will wake up tomorrow as a millionaire or suddenly start levitating. Although I'd love to see that. Results depend on your efforts, circumstances, and probably a dash of good fortune. In other words, you are in the driver's seat, and that's important. By attending, you agree that you're responsible for your own decisions, successes, and yes, even those not so great moments. If you need medical, financial, legal advice, please consult a qualified pro. Don't call me. I will pray for you if you do call me. They get paid to worry about those things. So ready to dive in? Let's do this. Adventures, challenges, and all. A quick yes in the group if you guys are good with the disclaimer so we can move forward. So if you're saying, yeah, I'm good with that, pop a yes in. We got a good turnout. So let's see 21 yeses, including mine. Beautiful. Awesome, guys. So welcome to the 7-day Wealth Creation Mindset Challenge. This is like a pre-kick to that. And the challenge is actually going to start on the 28th of April. So keep that in mind. It's going to go for 7 days. It'll actually go for, it's still the 5th of May, which is a Monday. So it is 8 days, but we're leaving Sunday as a free day, give you a little bit of a breather. So each day, apart from Sunday, so from next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then the following Monday, we're going to have some very strategic move that will just kind of kickstart the wealth creation side of things for you and or move you to the next stage, because some of you have already started on the wealth creation journey. Some of you, it's new. And so it's giving each of us need a place of recalibration and then moving forward to the next step. So wealth is not just about money. It's about mindset, purpose, and legacy. So the reason I call it a wealth creation mindset challenge is that it's not about teaching you how to get rich quick or make money tomorrow. Making money is actually quite easy. It's keeping the money that's the hard part. Okay. So it's learning a proper mindset on how to do that. Statistics have shown us, and I think most of you have heard this before, that those who won Powerball or the equivalent, of a 10 million, 50 million, even $100 million, within 5 years, have gotten back to their old position or worse. Has anyone heard that? And if you have, pop a yes in the chat group. So why that's important to note is that when they did the survey on this, they found that the reason for that is that people don't have the right mindset and capacity to steward well. Okay, stewardship, that's I think the key word for today, to steward well what has been given to them. So once you understand that, and that's what we want to do over the next during the challenge over the next 7 days, is once you learn to shift out of scarcity and fear. That's important because how many people, and again, you don't have to answer this, but if you want to, I want you to pop on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being never happens to me, 10 meaning all the time. How many of you often think about money during the day and having to, in a negative way of paying bills, having to sort through some sort of debt, having to pay the home loan or the rent or buy food, and you think of that money in a negative sort of way on a scale of 0 to 10? How many of you have this often this, and it kind of grips you with a little bit of anxiety or fear sometimes. And so if it's very often during the day, put it up a 10. If it's like all the time, if it's never think about it in the day, put a 0. So let's see what sort of responses everyone gives us. Got an 8, we got 6. What are the other responses we're getting? 4, 0. Wow. Mom Carol, you are a saint. We'll have to learn from you. 5s. Yeah, I'm probably about a 6 or a 7. Patrick doesn't even think about money during the day in a negative way. Oh, in a negative way. Sorry, I wouldn't say I'm a 6. I'll be thinking about money, but probably in about a 4 for me. And I do get sometimes these little levels of anxiety that come in, which is always fun because of responsibilities. So we want to shift out that scarcity mindset and that fear component over this challenge. The next thing we want to do is learn to multiply what's in your hand. So a lot of people tend to say, if I had more, then I'll do more. And the question that I challenged myself with when I went into this journey over 25 years ago, and we're entering our 13th year now of not having a job and being able to run on investments and on the right side of the quadrant, which I'll share with you guys in a few minutes, is to multiply what's in your hand. So what's in your hand to do? We all have something in our hand. Can we do it? And lastly, to build legacy wealth from the inside out. Okay, so not to build just from the outside, but what's inside you and what is legacy to you. So how many of you here on, again, a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being not interested at all, 10 being extremely interested, is building wealth that is passed down? It's legacy. And it's not just for yourself, but it's for generations ahead and communities, not just your children generation and grandchildren, great-grandchildren, but also your community generation and the things you're building. It might be your brand that you're building. It might be the investments that you're structuring. So on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being that's extremely important to me, 0 being not interested in that, never thought of that, just money for today. What sort of level of legacy building would you consider? Yeah, I think most people are around the highs. High 9s, 10s, beautiful. Okay, and that's important, something that's important to think through, and that's part of this mindset challenge. Okay, so why am I passionate about wealth creation? This statement was something I thought about when I was creating these slides. If you don't master time and money, they will master you. Okay, that's a very profound statement, very interesting one, very important for me personally, because when I realized that the two things in life that I need to control are time and money. And if I don't control them, they'll control me. Then I had to think about, how do I control them? So I was back about close to maybe almost 30 years ago when I read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I don't know if anyone's heard of it. And if they have, pop a yes in the chat group. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by a guy called Robert Kiyosaki literally changed my whole mind and fired me up into realizing that I can actually get to a place where I could make money, freed up my time and allow me to use my time to do the things I want to do. Okay. Now, I often go around talking to people in groups of even up to 1,000 people, and anywhere between small groups like we are now here, 10, 20 of us, to over 1,000 people. And I'll ask this question. I'll say, if tomorrow on Monday, your boss calls you and says, you don't have to come into work, but we'll pay you the same money for the rest of your life, how many of you would actually go into work on Monday? And how many of you would decide not to go into work because you're still earning the same income and you don't have to go to work on Monday? So who would go to work on Monday? Put a yes. And if it's a no, I will not go to work on Monday, put a no. If you think there's better things you could do with your time, and your boss is more than happy to pay you for the next, let's make it more realistic, because people go, hey, no one will pay me for the rest of my life. Let's say 10 for the next 10 years, you get the same salary, you don't have to go into work. Who would go into work? Yeah, most people say no. Okay. Why? Because we have things that we want to do and we become a slave to money and time. How many of you would agree with that? Okay. And most of us are trading our time for money. So that was something that was big for me. And when I was 24 years of age, I had my first amazing child. I have 9 children, 6 girls and 3 boys. And I remember having to go to work at get up at 6 in the morning to go to work. By the time I got to work in the city, I'd have to get up by 6, leave the house at about 7ish to get to work by 9. By the time I got back from work, it was already 6, 7 at night. And I was missing out on seeing my children grow. I had my twins when I was 25. And so I got to a point where I felt like I want to hear their first words and see them take their first steps. So that's when I made a decision to say, how can I change what I'm doing and start freeing up my time? So the transition for me was to work from home and to create my own business. But I don't know how many of you realize that if you create your own business, you can be self-employed. And self-employed does not free up your time. Anyone agree? It is even worse, right? We got Hannah here, who is a financial literacy coach and a bookkeeper. And I think she would agree that a lot of people here have their own businesses and they think that they're in a better place, but it's worse off because now you got to do your BASs, now you got to do your taxes, now you got to do so much other things. So self-employment isn't better than employment. What you want to do is move into the business and investment quadrants. How do we do that? Change of mindset. Okay. And so that's what I started doing. I wanted to retire at the age of 30. I moved into setting up business. At one time, I had about 5 different businesses at the same time. I became very good at setting up business without capital. And so if anyone says, I want to start a business, but I need capital, not true. Written a book about that as well and taught it in a number of nations. And it was been really helpful to hear people realize and understand that you don't have to have capital to set up a business. Now, let me ask you a question. If you set up a business without capital, how much profit do you get from your first sale? Think about it. So if you set up a business without capital, how much profit would you get from your first sale? And then subsequent sales after that. If you're not needing a return on investment, it's not even 100%. It's infinite because there's no return there's no external expenses that are required. And so with technology today, guys, and the things we have today, the ability to set up even just businesses have become easier. But I did it back 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and we didn't have the technological expertise we have today and the opportunities we have today. Okay. From that, I got a real interest in property, and I realized that I could start creating passive income from property. So anyone know what passive income is? And if they can type it in, what do we mean by passive income? When we talk about passive income, what does that mean to you, and what does that conjure up to you when we talk about the word passive income? Anyone have any ideas? So I started looking at the realization that my properties could give me passive income. And then I realized that my businesses were not giving me a lot of passive income because I had to be in it. All right. So has anyone thought of what passive income is? Not the main source of income? Not really, but I can't see you on the right track. But good answer, good thoughtful answer, but that's not passive income. Because I'd love passive income to be our main source. That's got to be important. So anyone else think of what is passive income as opposed to active income? So when you're working, you have active income. I'll give you a clue. Passive income when you don't have to do anything. Well, you got to do something, Simon, but but anyone has income that doesn't require your time? Kind of, yes. Extra income, not really. Money working for you when you're sleeping. Ooh, I like that, Sandy. We're getting closer to the description. Money working for you when you're sleeping, job you do once but keep paying over. Nice, Lucia. Yes, you can. So you might need a little bit of time, a little bit of initial initiative, and then it starts to come in without you, right? So I'll give you an example of passive income. So this is separate from money without business without capital. All right, that's a separate thing. So a property, you buy your own property, you can't generate passive income. Buy an investment property, which is something I did and started liking, and I rented it out. And every month I collect rental. Then I got smarter with it and I started renting out rooms rather than a whole house and started making 3 times more income. and at different times of the month, because each tenant was paying at a different time. And so I was now getting income coming in, it was paying the loan plus giving me some residual income. So passive income is something that where you can put an initial effort. Yes, Niels, you're already writing it there for me. You Googled it, didn't you? Something you put initial effort into, which eventually makes money without your active involvement. Love it. Okay. So that became something that was tasting really nice in my mouth. I mean, how many of you would love to have passive income coming in, and multiple streams of income from different sources? So we don't put eggs into one basket. I think Hannah wrote that really well when she put that. What was it called, Hannah? You did was limiting beliefs. And Hannah said, limiting beliefs and don't put all your eggs in one basket. And that's so important that we learn to diversify. Okay. So only one person, only Shamim likes passive income. Now, I love passive income. But here's the thing. Can you please write this down? If you want passive income, you've got to be active in the passive. So you have to be active in the passive. That might look like every morning getting up, looking at your assets. And assets are things that produce income for you, and then making sure everything's in play, because if you're blind to passive income, it will blind you eventually. Okay. And I've been through that in my journey, where I've thought some things are going to be there forever as passive income, and they haven't. All right. And so you got to be active in the passive, but when you do that, it frees up your time. I got a few who are interested in that. So that's a little bit of my story. I wanted to retire at the age of 30. I had property in place to do that, and then got hit with kind of like the worst thing that could happen in life, relationship-wise, financially. Got into $200,000 of debt. Felt like this was my world. It really crashed down. So I ended up retiring at 36 years of age, but I ended up retiring to something we call economic independence. Now, this is not financial freedom. This is steps towards it. I actually don't feel like financial freedom I think it's just a word that we use without even knowing and realizing. And I'm not a big fan of financial freedom, because it's this pie in the sky that you think, I'll have all the money in the world, I can do whatever I want, without stewarding well. And stewardship comes with sacrifice, and before you have multiplication. So I learned something from a friend of mine, a very close friend of mine, was a mentor to me. And he used the word, we were having a chat one day, and he used the word economic independence. And I went back and I was thinking about it and thought, wow. So I retired into what is called economic independence, which is doing the things I love doing regardless of money. So I took away the fear and scarcity mindset. So could someone write that in the chat group, economic independence? Okay, because that's kind of important in this journey. If you want financial freedom, you got to have, number one, economic independence. Number two is financial independence. And that is more important than financial freedom. Okay, so economic independence, financial independence, and then financial freedom. So economic independence starts with digging deep into what would I do regardless of money? What has stopped me because I've thought that I need money. Okay, and how can I change that? And then you move into financial independence. Financial independence is where you start to steward things better, because you start to have money flow. You know, when we stop letting money be a fear to us and letting it be a slave to it, being a slave to it, we start to attract it. We start to attract a flow. And that flow leads to financial independence, which then can lead to that loosely fitted term, financial freedom. Okay. But I'm not about financial freedom. I'm really about how do we get from economic independence, start with that, and then move to financial independence. Everyone tracking? We're all good with that. So 36 years of age, retired. I'm going to be 49 this year. So we're 13 years. And I can truly say I'm out of a job, just over out of bed, or just over broke, right? I'm in a position where we do work hard, but we work in the rest. And we work in finding ways to create income even when things go down. Well, last year we had a bit of a dip in our finances, and the responsibility to stay. How many of you know, even if you reduce your income, your out sources and your expenses still continue, right? Unless you really try and curb them. And so even at that point, just continue to step into economic independence and flow, and let money be attracted. Okay. So what do we want to expect in the next 7 days, guys? And why am I sharing my story? Because I want you to step into these things too. And I know that's partly why you're here. And hopefully that's fully why you're here. Okay. Because if we can free up ourselves and live our purpose, and that's one of the name of my business is called Capture Your Purpose, which I started again about over 25 years ago. The idea for me was once I understood my purpose, everything else flows. Okay. So what to expect in these next, when we start on Monday? Number one is mindset. Every day you'll have a mindset key. Okay. And I want you to take it seriously. Now, not all of you here are going to take this seriously. Not all of you are going to do this. You're all motivated, but I don't need motivated people. We want disciplined people, right? Because motivation is great, but if we're not disciplined, we won't get the best of this. So how many of you feel highly motivated to get into a journey on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being fully motivated, to get into a journey that could lead you to something similar or better than where I am? Because again, I am not the success pinnacle for you. I'm just a journey. And I wish I had mentors like I am now doing for others, because I didn't have mentors. It took me over 20 years to stumble, fall, and still stumbling and falling, because I find that no one wants to share this sort of stuff. So that's why I stepped into the arena and said, I want to share it. I'm transparent with it. Those who run with me see that we transparently do stuff. Sometimes things work, sometimes things don't, but I'm continuously working on the mindsets of everyone, saying, what's your mind telling you? Do you have a scarcity mindset or an abundance mindset? Okay. And it's really important to shift that. So the first thing is, if you're motivated at a 10, and appreciate some of the honesty of at the moment not motivated at all. So let's try and motivate some of you. But if you're motivated now, how many of you are willing to be disciplined for the next 7 days on a scale of 1 to 10? And again, when no one's holding a gun to your head if you don't do it, no one's going to demotivate you or embarrass you or condemn you. What we want to do is encourage one another. On a scale of 1 to 10, how many of you could be disciplined enough to do the following? And I'm going to share it with you first, and then I want you to think about it. But this time when you put a number down, I want you to put the word D for discipline. Okay. Like I'm putting D10 because I'm going to be disciplined to share this with you for the next 7 days, starting on Monday. You'll have a mindset key each day that's going to take you through certain topics, which I'm going to share with you in a minute. You're then going to have an action step that you have to take, and it won't take more than a few minutes to do. You need to create a daily affirmation, and then pop something in the group as part of your feedback to say, here's something I've picked up, here's something I've understood. Okay. The next 7 days is all about these keys. And as we deliver the keys, then it's about action, because the action is going to help you, and the affirmations to hopefully change your mind into a better place. Okay. And I want you to think about why you're doing it, what's the mindset around it, what's the abundance mind I'm going to have through this. Okay. And the challenge here is not about hype, guys. It's about sustainable activation. Okay. It's not about hype. So it's just a few minutes a day. I'm not trying to hype you up. Okay. I'm not trying to say, if you do this, you're going to become a millionaire. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how disciplined, because most of you put 10 for motivated, how disciplined do you feel you could be on a scale of 1 to 10 to just take anywhere between 10 to 30 minutes a day to work on this for the next 7 days, starting on Monday. All right. Pop it in the chat group. Hopefully we'll get 22 answers, 23 answers. All right. And the way I look at it is this: if someone gave me this opportunity for 7 days to change and create a new habit, that's going to change my mind. It's going to encourage me to now go seeking further and become a student of wealth creation. Wow. Why would I not do it? And on the other side, why I'm here is to share with you that, and most of you have been home to my family, most of you have seen me around. I don't think there's anyone here who doesn't know me. And if there is, please let me know and I'll introduce myself a bit more. But you know who I am, and I'm very transparent in what I do. But my family and I, we just get to live the life we want to live. Now, everything's not always great, but everything's great. Does that make sense? Like we're always hitting goals. There's always capacity we want to run and grow. And there's these challenges, because without challenge, you don't live. But we're not sitting back there and saying, I wish I had. And I never look backwards and say, I wish I had like those days. Because every lesson from the past has pushed me to the future. But everything in today is grown in a bigger capacity of purpose since I started living from purpose. So I'd love you to write this down. From today, I choose to live from purpose. Okay. Now, you may not know what your purpose is. No problems. We'll work on that. But from today, I choose to live from purpose. That means everything I do is from purpose. Okay. If I'm starting a business, is it from purpose? If I'm going to work, setting up a new career, is it from purpose? Everything is from purpose makes such a big difference. All right. Awesome, guys. Couple more slides. What are the themes we're going to learn each day? Theme number 1 is how to discover your financial why. Day 2, we'll look at identifying your money blueprint. So remember, each day we're going to take about 10 to 30 minutes just for you to spend time with that, with a little bit of information, and then you think through that information, and then you feed back into the group. Day 3, we'll shift from scarcity to abundance. Day 4, we'll teach you how to think like an investor. That's very important. Day 5, activate multiple income streams. Day 6, practice generosity and circulation. And day 7, design your wealth vision. Okay. Now, guys, in 7 days, we're not going to transform your life. Okay. Please don't think that, like you said in the disclaimer, it's not a magic wand. All right. What these 7 days are going to do is challenge you to start thinking. In my thoughts is to start thinking the way we were created from the beginning. Okay, because the systems of this world, the education system, the financial system, the health system, all of these have not been designed to bring out the best in us. How many of you would agree? Okay. I continuously see the systems anywhere in any country I go to, any place I travel, that these systems aren't designed to help us. So we need to go back to our original intent. All right. So the first day is what? Discover your financial why. Okay. That's really important. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why do I need the finance? Second is, how do I identify the money blueprint? Okay. What do I look at? What do I begin to think? And it's all in the mind, the mindset change. Thirdly is shift from the scarcity to the abundance. How do I move from the mind of scarcity? Maybe don't even realize that I have a mind of scarcity into abundance. Okay, let me sit on that for a minute. So sometimes when I invest a certain amount of money, I know how much I'm investing, why I'm investing. Just last year or the year before last, I invested into a certain place. I put 5,000 in. I got back 15,000. I really liked it. I then decided to invest $45,000. I remember going to the bank and they were like, "What? You can't come and just ask for your money." So another interesting thing is that the banks don't have our money; they just have numbers on a screen. So if all of us went and asked the banks today in Australia, and I know some of you in other countries, for our money in cash, Australia will not have it. Okay, because they do not have that much cash. All right. And I remember investing $45,000, and I remember that project did not go well. And in a scarcity mindset, I'd have been upset. But I already recalculated what it would cost me. Could I afford to do it? And then made the decision to do it. And so when it didn't go well, it was okay. And it was one of my only investments where I didn't get back my returns, because usually I try and get back my returns, and then whatever the profits are, I reinvest the profits, because then I've got back my initial capital. Okay, good idea? Absolutely. All right. Now, number 4, teach how to think like an investor. Number 5, day 5, we'll look at activating multiple streams of income. So like I said before, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't just bank on one stream of income. Look at multiples. And some of you will need to transition from work, from self-employment. I love helping businesses that move from self-employment into running without you. Okay. Not all can do it. Some of those businesses can be done. Right. A milk bar? Absolutely no. Okay. You cannot run a milk bar without you. Practice generosity and circulation. I love this. Is very important. In fact, I found that a scarcity mind is not an abundant mind. I think, Darren, you were sharing that with me from the book that I wrote, something about that I had written. A scarcity mind is not an abundant mind, because I think I said that I've never met a giving person with a scarcity mind. Okay. Those with an abundant mindset are the ones who are the most generous continuously without thinking. And lastly, design your wealth vision. That's a very exciting place to be. Awesome. So, how do I expect an engagement for the next 7 days, guys? I don't want you to be a participator. Has anyone been to the footy matches or the soccer matches or the cricket match or some other game? And I know one fella here who's smiling at the moment. We're standing going, yeah, we're participating, and then when we're upset with them, we're like, what's wrong with you? I don't want you to be a spectator. We need to be participators. All right, so if you're going to be a participator, even if you're going to try, please put a P in the chat group and say, I'm going to be a participator. Right, what you're going to do is be able to for the 7 days, and you can test this out over the next 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, next 4 days before we hit Monday, is to read the daily post. Okay, we'll be sending out a post, read this is the theme for today, and then do the action step. Okay, 5 to 10 minutes, do the action step, and then share in the group what the takeaway is, and then invite someone to join. Okay, invite someone else to come in and be part of this. The best way you can do the sharing is to tell someone what you've learned in those 10 to 30 minutes that you take for your time. Does anyone have me time here? And if you have me time, please put me time. I just learned me time a couple of years ago, and it is the best thing ever. I've become more productive by having me time. Okay. Now, my wife laughs her head off whenever I say, honey, I need some me time, because most of my me time is with her. So she has to come with me everywhere. But I love me time. I love just relaxing, sitting back, kicking back, and just thinking over things. I love it when I go for walks or go for a massage, when I go for a swim. Just me time, or just before I go to bed, or waking up in the morning, just spending time me time, or in the afternoon going and lying on the bed and just thinking through something. Just that me time. Anyone else have me time? If you don't, please make yourself time to have me time. Okay, that's really, really important. All right. When you do that me time and you have this time to reflect on things, go share with someone else. Text them, share the actual post. You can forward it on to them. All of this stuff is not for you to hide and keep. I congratulate you for being here. But here's the important thing. If you're going to be just a spectator, you won't get as much. If you're going to be a participator, you'll get lots. If you don't understand something, say, I don't understand. Okay. I love some of the guys here who write to me and say, hey, I just didn't get what you said. Maybe something's wrong with me. No, nothing's wrong with you. It's just your learning might be different from the way I'm teaching or conveying it, and we'll find another way around it. Ask questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Only stupid answers, and I'll try not to give you any. What you put in is what you get out. Okay? Very important. Finally, if you feel like you can go further than just being a participator and you'd like to help lead in the group, please just drop me a message in the chat group and say, hey, Ruben, I'd like to lead. A shout out to some of our leaders here who've taken the time to say they'll help out, like Sandy and Hannah. Who else are here with our leaders? Hiromi. I saw Jerry before, Malcolm. All right. There's a few here that I've just, asked Cecilia. So if any else of you want to say, I want to be a leader. Now, why is it important to put your hand up for being a leader? I tell you what, and you need to be a leader for 14 days. All right. So 10 days with me. That's all you need. Okay. I'm a kind leader, I promise. Get the whip out later. But when you're in leadership, it helps to engage more because you're encouraging. Okay. It's sometimes a little bit tough at the start because you go, I don't know if I can really do this or not. My son Josiah has just started soccer with a group of guys in a huge club, and one of the guys called me, who's the president of the club this year, and said, hey, Ruben, I think you'll be a really good team manager. I've nominated you. I'm like, whoa, hold on. Hit the brakes. I don't know anything about soccer, got no idea what to do. I'm actually an introverted person. I know people don't believe that, but I'm very shy when you put me in groups that I'm not comfortable in and I don't know yet. All right. And so then I had to think about it and go, well, if I want to be involved with my son's stuff and I want to be there, how great would it be not just to be just a parent that comes in, but to be one of the leaders there? I said, okay. And earlier today, you should have seen me on the computer popping chickens a little bit because I didn't have to register this and tell them about this and show them about the game coming up this Sunday and tell them make sure they're on time. And then if the coach is not there, I've got to do the coaching. And I'm like, oh my goodness me. Now, don't worry, it'll be no stress like that. But if you feel like you could lead, Leading accelerates your growth. It accelerates your learning. All right. And it's no pressure. All you got to do is say hi, be more interactive, and I'll talk you through it. Okay. So if you want to do that, please reach out to me after this and let me know that you don't mind helping out with the leading for the next 10 days. I'd be really super grateful. Awesome. I was going to have Q&A, but I just want to share 3 more slides if that's okay with everyone. Would that be okay? Just to give you some juice of what you're going to see, and then we'll open up for any Q&A stuff. All right. So remember to say this yourself. I am highly favored, greatly blessed, and deeply loved. All right. I do recognize that we're 45 minutes up. I said it'll be a 45-minute session. So if anyone does need to leave, feel free. I've covered what's going to happen in the next 7 days, but I want to throw in an extra that you're going to really like, which is something that will help you get ready for this new season, because I feel for a lot of you, it's a new season of financial flow. And I like to call it the Melchizedek touch. Okay. So it's where I find that success comes through rest, through inheritance, through favor, that we were designed for this stuff. And we don't have to keep forcing it to happen. Okay. And so I want to talk a little bit about goal setting, vision building, and wealth increase. Right. Here's a slide worth taking a picture of, worth keeping in your little toolbox. Malcolm shared something about SMART goals that he's learned, which is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. I like this. I call it a Christ-centered wheel of life. It's not religious-based, so anyone can put this to their lives, about your spiritual journey, life partner, family, friends, wealth creation, career, calling, leisure, rest, and health. It's 8 areas that if you can learn to balance, it's an amazing journey. All right. And wealth creation is part of it and does help a lot. Okay. But if you ever do coaching with me or have done coaching in the past, I will tend to look at things in a holistic point of view. And it is a very exciting place for us to look at this journey and look at the 8 areas. And to look at these ideas of setting SMART goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. We don't want to set a goal where someone says, I want to earn $1 million next month. I want to earn $100,000 passive income in the next 3 months. Sometimes they're not realistic if you don't have a proper plan. So it's learning how to have proper plans. And again, you can start from knowing nothing. Give yourself 2 to 5 years to become a wealth creation expert, and then always be a student that's learning. But it does take 2 to 5 years for mindset changes. Now, some will do it faster. Some may take a little bit longer, but don't be hard on yourself and harsh on yourself, because most of you here are above 30 and you've had 30 years of ridiculous information being passed to you of being a slave to money and career and job and all of that. Would you all agree? All right. Okay. So your business, if you were to start a business, and not all of you are going to start a business, but this is one of the ways that would produce income, should have just 3 main things in it: customer service, financial intelligence, marketing, and sales. This is something that I've taught for over 20 years that has helped me. And it should create cash flow to build your assets up. Assets is anything that puts money back into your pocket. Okay. So again, we'll touch more on that in the future. Often I hear people feeling like they don't deserve to be rich. And I want to put to you, I don't like the word rich, because I kind of say that the rich chase after money just like the poor beg for money, but the wealthy control money. So, but this statement is really important. I deserve to be wealthy. And how many of you would agree with that? And if you would, put a yes in the chat group, because this is really important. I want to speak it to yourself as well. Affirmations are important. I believe that our destinies are voice activated and have been given to us from birth. And we've been designed with these things. And so I deserve to be wealthy should be a statement, not I can't afford it. And often I would say, how can I afford this? Often when I go to buy something, and even when I didn't have, and even now when I go to buy things that are beyond the reach of where I am at, and people say, how much do you want to pay for something like a house or a car or something? I say, money's not the issue. Tell me what I need. Let me find what I want, and then the provision will come. Okay? And it is part of your birthright to be wealthy, right? And so I want you to think about this. And if you agree with this, then I want you to say it. So this is the bonus material that I wanted to just share with you. Thank you for those who are waiting on. And I'll just be a few more minutes and then finish off. I create value and wealth in ways that bring purpose, benefit others, and fulfill my potential. How many of you think that's an awesome statement, but also an awesome opportunity? And then the question is, why would you not be involved in wealth creation? Why would you limit yourself when your designer has not limited you, and your design has not limited you, just your mind? And how do we change that? So would you say this with me? I deserve to be wealthy. Come on, say it out aloud. Scare yourself with your voice because you're muted. I don't want to hear you, but I want you to hear yourself. I deserve to be wealthy. And then read the next line. I create value and wealth. So not I'm about to create, okay? This is I am. I'm doing this right now. I want you to say it like as if it's a present. I create value and wealth in ways that bring purpose, benefit others, and fulfill my potential. Okay. Now, if you said it, I want you to put a 888 in the chat group. 8 stands for new beginnings. I love the number 8. And hopefully taking a screenshot. Take some of these screenshots, pop them in our chat group as well, because that's how the interaction starts. That's how the participation starts as well. Pop it in our wealth creation mindset group. Let's encourage the other. Hey, we're at 199 people. We need one more new person and we've hit the 200 marks. I'm super excited about that. Beautiful. Wonderful. Kylie, good to see you on. Okay, so I deserve to be wealthy. I mean, this is such an important thing. All right, let me finish with this second last slide. Schools won't teach you this, okay? This is what I learned from Robert Kiyosaki. This is such an important thing that has helped me, propelled me to stay and move myself in the right quadrant and move others in there. So E stands for employee. 100% of it is you, and it's your income, right? You times a job equals income. You have a job, you don't have time, right? Because you're leveraging your time for money. How many of you would agree with that? That's the left-hand quadrant. We don't want to be there. Probably why a lot of you are here today is to say, hey, this job is getting me where? And when you retire, you've given the best of your life to somebody else and some other company that has made 1,000 times more or 10,000 times more than you, right? Now, I'm not saying to quit your job tomorrow. I'm just saying change your mindset so that you can start living from your purpose. And if a job is part of your purpose, then go for it. And if you're transitioning, then you know your purpose. So it's exciting. Self-employed, you own a job, right? You don't have a job, but you own a job and it still has no leverage in it. Okay, because you're trading time for money, starting over every day at zero. You've got to create income. If you don't create income, nothing happens. Make sense? All right. Are we good with tracking? Just pop a 333 in the chat group if you're good with tracking, and hopefully I haven't hurt anyone's feelings so far, to recognize that you spent all these years doing the wrong thing. But I'm hoping that a lot of you are going to be in the right-hand quadrant. And the right-hand quadrant is business owner, moving from self-employed to business owner, where you and people start income earning. So you are creating a system where people work for you. Okay, or the system works for you. And that is very exciting. The investor side is where money works for you. Have any one of you had money work for you? It's beautiful when money earns money. There's another beautiful book, if anyone likes to read, apart from Rich Dad Poor Dad, called The Richest Man in Babylon by George Carlson, The Richest Man in Babylon. An amazing book where he says, let your purse have money and let your purse have coins and let your coins produce coins. Okay, your money needs to produce babies, right? It's a multiplication effect. And if your money is not producing money, then you become a slave to it. But you need to make money your slave, all right? And again, if this is new to you, put the word new in. If these are new things, new concepts, you will learn them as we go. Okay, and I've got videos on YouTube that you guys can go and have a look at as well if you want to keep going with that learning over the next few weeks. So here's some key differences between what we call an imposter syndrome and an inheritor mindset. I remember I said before, to be able to say, I deserve to be rich. Some of us have imposter syndrome. So our core belief is, I don't deserve to be here. Whereas an inheritor mindset says, I'm entrusted with this position. That's good stewardship, right? So how many of you could say in your core belief, and again, you don't need to pop it in the chat group because it's very personal, that sometimes you have, or oftentimes have had, this imposter syndrome. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to be here. I didn't work hard enough for this. I didn't study hard enough for this. I don't, there are others who need more, right? What about mindset? An imposter syndrome, self-doubt, fear of being found out. You know how to say fake it till you make it? Well, I don't say fake it. I say faith it. Faith. Faith it. Once you've got a vision created and a vision map, faith it till you make it. Don't fake it, don't fear it. But in an inheritor mindset, can I leave you with this idea to look through this and say, I have acceptance, responsibility, and gratitude. That's the mind I have in understanding that I'm an inheritor. An imposter in the source of worth will say external, will find their source of worth from external achievements or perceptions. Okay, when they get success, when they make that extra money, when their cryptocurrency went up, 200%. Whereas as an inheritor, our source of worth is from our inherent sense of belonging or purpose, and that's why purpose is so important. Emotional impact, anxiety, stress, and insecurities, and imposter syndrome. And inheritor mindset, you have gratitude, sense of duty, fulfillment. Goal, the imposter goal is to prove oneself to feel worthy. Wow. Okay. But the inheritor goal is to uphold or honor a legacy, mission, or calling. An imposter's view of success is often seen as a fluke or due to luck, but an inheritor sees it as a part of a greater responsibility or trust. How many of you love this? All right. Let me finish off there. Let me open it up for questions. Thank you for giving me an extra 10 minutes of your time. I'll do some questions over the next 10 minutes, and then we'll finish off. If anyone has to leave, please feel free. There's no problem. I did say 45 minutes. I've gone a little bit over because I wanted to give you that extra stuff to chew. So you can either type a question in or you can unmute and ask a question before we finish off. Is the 7-day plan clear? We're going to start on Monday. It's going to go for 8 days because we're going to have a break on Sunday. And each day you're going to get a key piece of information on one of the topics and a mindset key. Then there's an action step and a daily affirmation, and then just group support and reflection in the group. So any questions or any comments? Neil, I saw your hand up before, bro. Any comment?
Oh, sorry. I think the graphic wasn't. It was a bit blurred, but then it cleared up. So
It
all
up?
good there.
Okay. Would have been
Yeah,
the Wi-Fi from one of our sides, either my
probably
upload
mine.
or your download.
Yeah.
While you're unmuted, bro, what do you think?
Oh, it's interesting because I before this meeting, I was just noting down a few things about my experience or my view of wealth, and yeah, I'd like to share it. Like, and I mean, there's like throughout life, I've had different views of wealth. So initially, what I wanted was financial freedom, which I realized later is different from wealth because, like, wealth makes you financially independent, but not the other way around. You could have financial independence and still not feel wealthy because wealth is how you perceive it as well.
Very good.
So that was interesting. And then, like, like at that time I wanted like a windfall, like a lottery or something like that. And then I moved on to like being in IT and being really skillful at what I do. I was like, I got to create this killer app and then build something, sell it, get a big payday, and then again do nothing. So that again wasn't I realized that's not um that doesn't align with purpose. I guess then my third view was like, let's get an easy job now that I have a mortgage and things are getting settled. Just get an easy job and keep working. No stress. Because I'm not that young anymore, so I can't take the responsibility of spending time to create that app or whatever. Um, and I realized that that again isn't good because if I get an easy job, what I'll end up doing is, like you asked, like what if your boss says you don't have to come into work, or if you can just work from home and put in, you can do your work within 2 hours, but you have to stay online for 8 hours. So that's again not good because it's going to take up my entire day. So it's in fact worse than anything else because it's going to make me lazy. So I guess now where I've reached is at that point where I want to be wealthy and not necessarily rich, but wealthy, healthy, satisfied, and as a wise person said, not busy but occupied.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, guys. Can we give 888 to Neil for sharing and kicking off the Q&A side or the discussion side because it wasn't really, and I love that. Thank you, Neil. That's great to see that response. Who else? I'd love to hear from some of our leaders here for the next 10 days, like Hannah and Malcolm and Sandy, but anyone else just want to unmute and share, please feel free to do that as well. Jerry's in the house too. Remember we said participation, jump in. Hiromi's here. Okay, what about others? Margaret and Lucia and Cynthia.
Hello.
Hello,
Am
Hannah.
I heard?
Yes, it's working.
Every time that we catch up on Zoom, there is an issue with my. Lovely to see so many familiar faces, and thank you, Ruben, for inviting me to the leadership. I'm really honored and blessed to be here. I'm really looking forward to this challenge the more I hear about it. I just wanted to reinforce what you spoke. It's 90% it's the mindset, and I love to see Arankas. Hopefully, I pronounce your name properly. From saying that you don't feel that you can do it to I'm fully commitment in like less than an hour. That's what it's all about. Encouragement of each other, ask questions in the group, post what you're feeling, how you're progressing, even if you are not progressing. There are days that we will not be able to commit 100%, but seeing others' challenges, others' block roads, but also other successes will encourage us all to move forward. So it's all about community and sharing and growing together and empowering together. So I'm really looking forward to be part of it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hannah. And yes, I was also seeing Aranka saying that statement, and I felt the same as Aranka. Very proud of you. Well done. And we are all here to support you. So the good thing is, guys, you just have to show up. Literally 7 days show up, meaning on WhatsApp, you're getting some information and just go through the progress. And we're all here. Oh, absolutely. I believe in you till you believe in yourself. That's a good thing. Sandy, you're unmuted. Sandy, by the way, guys, is 76 years young. And the number of things in the time I've known her that she has started and the entrepreneurial mind she has and the way she has shifted from owning a business to moving into the more investment side of things and just her mind just churns over. Like if she can do it, no one has an excuse. But I also know she's a very high caliber type of lady. So she will encourage you all and push you forward in a good way. And she'll never slap you and tell you that you're silly. She will just go, hey, let's do this. And it's very exciting. Sandy, what have you got to say, my dear?
Absolutely. Great reminder of the affirmations. I think that they are so vitally important to be saying them each day. And often, for me anyway, for when I go for walks, I will actually repeat that in my walk daily.
Beautiful. I love that. And if you move a little bit out of the way, I love your statement every time there. It says, every earthly challenge we face in our daily lives has a heavenly solution. Right. So we have destiny solutions in us. We just got to run with them and walk with them. So amazing. Thank you, Sandy. Beautiful. Cecilia, I know it's like 11 o'clock in New Zealand. So before you nod off to sleep, do you want to anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still awake.
You've done well, my dear. How have you found, and are you ready for the challenge? And how did you find today?
I am ready. It's challenging and scary at the same time, but we have to move forward.
100%. If we don't, we're in trouble, right?
That's right.
Well,
and we know that God has our back anyway, so He calls
100.
us. He calls us into what He wants us to become.
Absolutely, 100%. I always love the fact that we have wealth written in our DNA, and we deserve to be wealthy, and it's not
That's
wealth is not just for us, right? It's for wealth is about everyone and
generation.
yeah. The most selfish thing we can do is what? To say, I just want enough for me and my family. Or
That's
my family and I. If my mom was here, she'd correct my English grammar right now. I just want enough for my family and I is the most selfish thing we can say. It's more than that. And the ability to run, imagine being able to give away 90% of your income streams and live on 10, and 10 would be more than enough, right?
Or buy a house for each of your children.
Amazing. Imagine setting them off with their for the next generation that way. And that beats the way the world is saying today that children cannot afford a house anymore.
Mm,
You know,
mm,
we're changing
mm.
the facts on that, and that's beautiful.
That's
I
right.
I got a chance to co do that with my daughter, and she's now in a place, and that was really exciting for my wife and I to be able to give that as a part of our legacy solution towards her, and that's amazing.
That's right.
Kylie, I love this. I didn't realize how limited my mindset is regarding money until seeing your chart of key differences. Yeah, I'm so glad you stayed on for that extra and the others as well. I can see some areas of my mindset that will require overhaul in order to move into the inheritor mindset. Beautiful. So, hoping the next 7 days when we start this will also help with that. Guys, be kind, like I said to yourselves. Please be kind. It takes 2 to 5 years to go from the stuff that we've been taught in school to changing mind. And some of us will be quicker, but don't feel frustrated. Lots of aha moments right now, but don't feel frustrated along the journey. Just remember it takes time. And I love what Hannah said. Let's not just share our successes, but our roadblocks as well. And you've got people here who've been through some of this stuff with me last year, some who are coaching with me, and they can also help you because they've also got some really awesome ways that they can help you in as well. Anyone else want to share before we finish off? Love to hear from others. Aniko, good to see you on. Everyone's quiet. Try to call out names. Like I see Cynthia's face going, pick me, pick me. Unmute, Cynthia. We have to hear you. And then Malcolm, we got to hear from you after that.
I believe that I deserve to be wealthy, and I do have an inheritor mindset. So I'm ready for it.
Let's go. Let's do it. Huh? What excitement. I love that. So every day, if you can put it on the chat group, either paste that picture if you've taken a copy of it or write it in. I deserve to be wealthy and get us all to put some sort of a emoji on it in the WhatsApp group. That'll be great. Thank you, Cynthia. Malcolm? Can you hear us, Malcolm? Malcolm is calling.
Hello.
Hey, bro.
Yes, I can. Yeah.
You want to add
Sorry,
anything? You may have to turn off your camera because you're not
for my class.
covered.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wasn't able to listen much clear.
That it seems to be getting clearer. Yes, I know you're in a class.
Am I audible enough?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, wait, just give me a second. Yeah. So basically, I was part of the training last year, and it was a blessing. It was really a blessing to be able to be a part of it and just take in from it. I mean, despite the works I was doing, because my kind of job or what I do is I'm a consultant plus I work as an audio engineer, so it requires me sometimes to be on the job. And at the same time, I multitask. I'll be listening to some of the sessions while it's going on, and I'm like, okay, taking nuggets, and I'm also working at the same time. But to be honest, like the sessions really helped me change my mindset. That was the biggest thing about the whole thing. Like I'm somebody, I mean, I love to pursue things, I love to do things, I love to try new things, and I love taking challenges. But with the way this course or this training took me, it was like, don't just try any challenge, but try the challenges with purpose and like have a purpose towards what you're doing. And also the mindset matters as well. Like you can maybe put into something and lose, but it's how you bounce back. It's not about losing or like saying that you couldn't do it, but it's about you saying, oh, I failed this time. Let me get back up and continue trying it again until I can do it much better. So that's just one of the many things I had picked. And something that Ruben always tells us is work with the motivated. And that really helped me because like I have a lot of friends, but there are some people that will always like be like, oh, this is bad, this is not going well and stuff. Like here in Sri Lanka, things are very different, right? Like the way things happen and things move is like you have people who would always speak negative over things, and then there's a few that would speak positive over things. And I'm somebody like I'm affected by the words that you say, just like Sandy said, like speak the words, declare these words, declare the words that have been given. And I just kept on saying these things, like repeating it every day to myself. Like when I get down, I just say, okay, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and all of this, like this kind of words. And I started to choose the people I would surround myself with, people that had the right mindset and people that had the mindset that I was looking for as well. And as a result of that, I saw that I started to change in my thinking. And as a result of that, also my financial side of things started to change as well. And I started to see that things changed. And I think I posted in the group, my income tripled last year. That's by 3x. And then I was able to have over 6 different streams of income, which I went from just starting from only like 2 and went to 6. And that was like crazy. It was mind blowing, but I still had time to do other things as well. And I was still able to help people. And I'm somebody that I love to do missions here in Sri Lanka. I help a lot of places. I do work with churches and organizations. And I was able to do all of those things. So this course, you guys, we are all in for an amazing one, an amazing treat. And I mean, don't judge yourself if you don't, if you're not part of any of the sessions. You can always come back, ask, and we're all willing to learn. Whoever has learned something better than us, you can drop a question in the what you call in the group, and anyone would be free to answer it. So yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys with the challenge. Thank you so much, Hubert, for what you've done so far and what you're going to do again. God is going to use you mightily in this time as we pursue this.
Awesome, bro. Thank you so much. And wow, who's excited by that? Like just to see that information in a year. I remember it was really hard to get Malcolm to sit down in one place. So when I was there last year in Sri Lanka, trying to even get him to join us was hard. But if I said swimming pool, he was there. So so we would talk business around the swimming pool, which was really fun and have. But I remember when you first turned up for one of the teaching sessions I did in Sri Lanka, and you just gravitated to it, and I love that, and I love the fact that you multitasked through it even while you're working. You did not make an excuse. You jumped in when we're doing the Monday programs last year, and then to see these results, what a blessing! And to see that you're also not just getting rich, as Neil was saying, where we're getting wealthy, right? You're giving out as well, which is great. But guys, please don't mishear me. I want you to make lots of money. Are we good with that? If we are, please put a 999 in the chat group, because I want you to make lots of money, because you need to know how to make money. Now, stewarding it well, don't worry. Once you pick up purpose, you will automatically be giving out and you grow in capacity, but you need to make lots of money. Okay. Money is swirling around this world. It does not go out of this world. And it's better to end up in the hands of wealthy minded people who deserve to be wealthy, who have that mindset, than any other thing. And we're not telling you to live a life that is mediocre. Get money, get that amazing house you wanted, get the amazing car or the shoes or the clothes or whatever else you wanted. But at the same time, just that the ability to think further and be in a mind that says, I control money, money doesn't control me, is powerful. All right. Beautiful. Guys, I appreciate your time. We've gone for about, 60, 75 minutes. So let's call it a session, a night for most of us, and a day and an evening for some of you in other countries. But thank you again. Unless someone really wants to share something, just kind of wave frantically. Otherwise, on WhatsApp group, let's continue. Hannah said, well said, Malcolm. It's so important to be surrounded by supportive people and let go of the ones that pull us down. Yes. So I love to say, I don't know if everyone remembers, do not cluck with the chickens, fly with the eagles. All right. And hunt with the lions. Find that tribe. All right. Amazing that Malcolm referenced Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Saw this randomly on the back of a car when driving back from Adelaide. Not random. Yes, absolutely. All right. So Love to thank everyone for being here, and the participation has started. Remember, if you want to be help with the leadership side as well, just throw me a line on WhatsApp afterwards, and I'd love for you to be part of that. We're going to stay in the big group and do the 7-day challenge because we want to just encourage others there as well. All right, is that okay with everyone? So I can start a private group, but that'll be another WhatsApp group for some of you who are like in a million WhatsApp groups. But also, it would be a little bit selfish for us. Let's stay in the big group and let's kind of put the challenge out there. I know who you guys are who've turned up, and I'm super excited for you. And just keep pushing the 7 days. Between now and Sunday, I'll just be posting stuff as well as we go. Participate in it, respond to it, think through what we've shared. Maybe take a slide like what Kylie did and said, "Oh, I didn't realize about the syndrome, what do I call it? Gosh, I've just lost the name. What syndrome is it? The imposter syndrome. I've forgotten being an imposter rather than inheritor. One of those parts may jump out at you, throw it in there because, hey, any revelation you get on something and an aha moment can help all of us, including me. Okay. And especially me, because I sometimes can miss information when we heard it so many times. All right. Bless you guys. Thank you. We'll catch you around on WhatsApp. Thanks again for being here and take care.
Thank you. Bless
Before
all.
you run away,
Yes,
the recording, will everyone be able to find that easily?
absolutely. I will be putting the recording onto YouTube, and then I'll share the link latest by tomorrow. It could happen sometime tonight. I do have a date with my best mate after this. It's gym time at 9:15 p.m. No rest for the blessed, as they say. So when I get back, then I'll have dinner, and if I don't get to sleep before then, it'll be up. Else tomorrow, promise. I'll give it to Hannah otherwise. Hannah's free. She has nothing to do. Hannah's like, whoa, no. See you later, guys. Thank you. See you, Lucy.
See you later.
Cynthia. See you, Sandy. Bye. See you,
Bye.
See you.
Bye.
Carol.
Take
See you,
care.
Hiromi. Bye. See you, Malcolm.
Bye.
Thank you. See you, Cecilia, Aniko, Tina, Neil. It's gone. Say bye to Neil for me, Cynthia. Bye.
Bye, Dos.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.